Okay, so Patrick, face on. I've drawn a line to demonstrate where your hip is at address. As you get to one piece to the right leg, that looks pretty good, but I can't see the club face, but I feel like just from what I can see in the motion of the little bit of the takeaway, it looks like this club face is getting open right there. You want that club face to actually be closed about 20 degrees. Um, and as you get here, when the club reappears, you can see that club face is wildly open. So not what we're looking for. When you get to the top, you actually, when by the time it's here, you've got it actually closed. And that has to do with the way you rolled your arm and could be part of the reason that you're laying it off so long like this is because you want to feel that club face closed and you start with the club so open. So I would want to see these hands sort of drag back more with this left wrist, this right wrist, not this left wrist number one, not getting so pointed um, out. That is to say, if you had a watch on this wrist right there, I would want it to face down at the ground rather than out. It's right now, it's facing like out towards the camera. I would want it to actually face more down this way at this point, and that would get your club face more closed. And I can show you that in another video. But moving right along, let me draw that line that disappeared on your hip again. As you start to go into transition, everything looks pretty good, minus the angle of the club face and how flat your shoulders are. They are very flat, and we will have to fix that. And we'll have to fix the amount of left lateral bend you have. We want more of that. A little bit more of this would be kind of crunched in there. As you transition, your first move is your hips are sliding about, oh, I would say 6 to 10 degrees, 6 to 10 inches forward, right? So you have not hit the ball yet, but your hips have already fired, okay? So once they've fired, okay, and your pelvis has come up and under you, they can't fire again. So what happens is at this point, the only thing that's working to hit the ball is the arms. And the reason that you can't keep this arm bent at impact like maybe Zach has or a lot of good players are going to have, um, it is because uh, your hips have slid so far forward. Now, you're pretty athletic, so you've managed to actually keep the hands like, I wouldn't say that the hands are ahead by any means, but they're not behind. So you're not adding tons of loft, but you're adding some. I bet you hit the ball pretty high, and I bet you're hitting the ball very short compared to maybe other people. Um, but I guess that impact frame is actually there. So yeah, you probably do have the hands slightly ahead, which is good. Um, but there's not a lot of room, and you can see that face is going from a position of open right there to a position of closed, which is not a very consistent movement. I would say Spieth and a lot of the other guys are doing just the opposite. They're going from a position where this would be 20 degrees closed when they're probably about at position 6, which position 6 doesn't exist for you because your arms have taken over at this point. The shaft would normally be there when your hands are over your right leg, but it's already releasing because this arm has had to straighten, and you've had to bend into your back side, your right side, to release the golf club, and you get this huge release with the right hand, which you're going to have some release, but not that much rolling. That's going to be a very inconsistent movement for you. And then as you come around, everything looks pretty athletic as always with you, and that looks nice. But what we get happening is basically this slide. Um, you're getting to the top, and the first move is you're making a motion this way, okay, forward. And what we would really like to see is this hip go around back there, that pocket go behind you, and see how it's already busted through this wall. We'd like to see you get all the way around to where your hips are pointing at 45. Your tailbone is pointed back there, kind of at like the bucket behind you. Your tailbone would be pointed there. By the time that you get to impact. But as you can see, you do a nice job of backing out of it, but your hips have moved too far forward, which is causing this roll. And it's causing the positions to be muddy, so the only swing you can take is this big long one. You probably can't take sort of a three-quarter swing. I honestly would say your golf swing would look a lot better if you were able to stop right here short of parallel. And you're not able to do that because the sequence wouldn't allow it. If you stopped there, if you stopped here and started to change direction, it wouldn't allow you all this time to slide. And that's what you're doing, is you're basically sliding because your arms are going too long, and your arms are going too long because you want to slide, and that's all, messing up your tempo and your rotation, and you're not able to deal off the golf club, and you're not able to compress the golf ball. So it's really ruining your pivot and your motion. So you've got to do some drills to basically fix this motion of from the top going and busting through that wall right away. We'd rather like to see you rotate your hips, and there's a number of things you can do to do that. You could, as you take the club back, obviously, the problems are two or threefold here. We want the club face to be closed about 20 degrees or match our spine angle when we get to shaft parallel. So number one, it looks like you're maybe taking your arms out too wide, which is probably causing you to be flat and probably causing the weird folding at the top like that. So we probably would like to see your arms be more like over that green line when you get to shaft parallel, first parallel, and then as we saw on the down the line view, your arms have come way out away from your body. They should be, you can't see it in this two dimension, but they should be much closer to your right leg in transition like that. So I will send you a couple of drills to do over the next couple days, but we got to fix the club face, and we got to fix the positions in transition and the way that these hips are sliding in transition. So